everyone, and welcome back to Christian Minds Talk Show. I'm your host, Peace Nabuhili, and today we are going to talk about rekindling friendships. We all understand that sometimes it reaches a time where a friendship goes down the drain and we don't understand what really happens. But today we are going to address that. Me is
Lilian Favor.
Yeah, and as I said, today we are going to look at rekindling friendship. And so, guys, what is rekindling?
That reminds me of chemistry, and I have asked Uncle Google, and he has said that rekindle means to revive something lost or lapsed. And the example is he tried to rekindle their friendship. So we are together.
Are we together? Yeah, I remember way back in high school in chemistry when we used to say that oxygen is the source of fire. So when for example we used to do the experiments, I remember very well when our teacher used to put a cylinder and then the fire goes down. Then once he puts a cylinder which has oxygen inside, which is collected, then the fire comes back up from the candle. I think that is a practical example of rekindling, right? Yeah. And so since we are talking about rekindling friendship, what can you tell people what friendship is to you? Paris, you can tell us.
Talking about friendship, let's begin by defining who's a friend. And a friend, I think, is someone who you have a mutual bond or kind of an affection, right? There must be affection involved. So being that he's someone who is close to you, so when you talk about friendship, I would say if there are two people who feel like we have a bond, we relate in some things, our differences excite us, because of course friendship, sometimes differences do excite us. So basically I think that it's talking about having a bond, a mutual agreement in some stuff, and sometimes also disagreeing, and that excites you, being that you guys are friends.
Yeah. And it's quite funny, like the fact that you're talking about friendship, and the three of us, we're kind of quite close, and that makes me asking myself, like, what are these things that drain a friendship? For a friendship to start draining, there are those cracks that are there that causes a friendship to fail, right? And in order for us to first understand this rekindling friendship, we must know what are these things that fail us as friends. And you can.
So I'd say one thing that will drain a friendship when it's so common is differences in reasoning. Unaweza pata venye mi na reason, si venye una reason, and most times you get, even here in campus or outside, watu wanaishi pamoja because they are friends, and maybe the way I would arrange the house is not the way you'll arrange the house. So mi nikikuwa na two issues na the way I reason on how to arrange the house, obviously italeta some differences. And pia personalities kukua one thing that holds friendship, because mimi extrovert na outgoing, you'd always want to, unacheka, unapayuka, and no one should ask you because that is who you are. But if now she doesn't understand that extroverts are like that, because maybe she's an introvert, unajua introverts hawatakangi mambo mingi, like, so it would always drain a friendship, because she'd be like, msichana kazi yake tu ni kuongea tu, and me I'd always get bored, kwa sababu for her she doesn't want me to be so quiet, like I'd be huyu ananyamaza sana, mimi nataka watu wa kubambika, wa kudance, wa kuamka kucheka, you get. So I'll be like, that is one thing, those are two things that will drain friendships. Alafu pia people forget that friendship imetoka kwa God. People forget to pray for their friendship. People forget to even bring the friendship to God. So they'd be like, sasa friendship, si Mungu tu anajua, si ni mabeshte, so hatufai kuomba, you get. But if we all take everything that we do spiritually and like we dedicate it to God, it will be something so nice that even God akiona it is something that is according to his will, bring glory itarudi kwake.
And when you talked about personality, it had me recalling, the three of us, we are two extroverts here, and we have one introvert. Okay. So for us, it's usually she's the mom, then you are the last boy, then I'm the one who balances every time. And it's literally so funny, like sometimes when we forget some things,
Yeah.
being the last born and being the mom, then you forget something, then she's like, you forgotten, you forgot,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, guys, wait. And that is like one wonderful thing about friendship, you see. Like when you understand each other's personality, even communication becomes better. You retain some things when you know that there's some things which you can't say in front of her because you know how her personality is, or in front of you because I know how you react. And that is, I think, the deepest thing about friendship is getting to understand who the other person is, right? Yeah. And so that since we know these things that drain friendship,
I'm going to talk about one thing.
Yeah.
I think basically because we are already friends, and we know we are friends. Identifying these things zenye ni cracks kwa your friendship are key. Like identifying when does my friendship starts being shaky, when is it like it's not working out. So first thing, when there is silence, when you guys are not checking up, no one is checking up on the other, no one is asking the other, you're not laughing about anything, nothing seems to be funny for you guys, nothing seems to be exciting to do together. So that's some of the things that you need to identify to see that, let's call them we call them red flags like in the friendship. Like basically for us, like there's this time when tulikuwa tumenyamaziana, my friend, it was like one whole almost a month, I guess 2 months. And no one was talking to the other, no one was checking up on the other, and we were like hakuna mwanambia mwingine. But she makes a joke of like this time when I used to say like don't worry, when I come we'll talk. Don't worry, when I come, every time
It shall be well.
Yeah, so identifying these things when there's a crack or when things are not working out, I think it's key for a good friendship. Like because una discover like how to have fun tena when we are together. We're not catching up, or we're not asking each other how have you been. So I believe that's one of the things people should look at, and I think it will help. Yeah.
To top it up is lack of communication. You get if you have friends who really love you for who you are and are always sure to tell you when you are wrong, imagine watakwambia. But if your friends do not tell you, by the way, venye ulifanya hivi si poa, those are not friends. So like lack of communication, I get bored with peace. Maybe she cooked something like I don't eat enough. I don't tell her like peace me sikulangi pilipili ama peace me sikulangi hivyo. So I get back to my house and I'm like, so huyo msichana mbona alifanya hivi? You get like to small things. If we don't communicate, italeta tu some draining. Utapata tu hata sitaki kwenda kwa peace tena, hata sitaki kurudi kwa Paris tena. Like, and we are all human. Like if I get bored with one thing, everything utashanga sasa anatembeaje, sasa anafanya. So lack of communication itahinda most things in friendship.
And since we know all these cracks, since you have identified these cracks, how then can we turn these red flags to blue?
I think number one thing is just like we have said, learn each other. Yes, when we identify there are these cracks, okay, sometimes I would say kuna na ego is also a crack, by the way. Like kuna ego, no one wants to go down and tell the other person, we need to fix this, ulinibo, and you did this and this and this and this, and maybe that person ameifanya ameirudia, but it's not her fault. You're not telling her. I would say that. But again, so one of you has to be bold. So we identify this, and how to tackle these cracks, I think, is by first maybe all of you allowing that to ondoa ego in this friendship, and we address it as it is. And then as we are addressing it, like we are open and we are learning each other and accept that we cannot always be together. We came everyone in different direction, na tukakuja, now we have to focus on moving forward rather than we are here we keep on seeing at each other's speck, at each other's log kwa macho yake and everything. But now we need to move in one direction. So I guess being that to learn each other and we know each other is a way, and take time and learn your friend, take time and learn what are the dislikes, what what are those things that she loves, and then keep on encouraging each other, psyching each other up, right? Yes, so I guess for me that's key, very key.
I'd say prayer, like having read 1 Corinthians 10:31, like 10:31, like doing everything for the glory of God. So the friendship that you have, it should bring the glory to God. So like if mko hapo and you're not even bringing glory to God, because God's glory haiwezi tu kuja kama like you're just there, you're just getting bored with everything. Like if you present this friendship in prayer, and like at some point I would get to prayer and tell God, thank you for this friendship, but God, just know, aki unajua tuongee, God unajua we have not been talking. I pray that you may help us to rekindle, help us to lower down and uongezeke. So you would start singing and telling God aongezeke in that friendship, because unaona nikaa nyinyi ndio umekuja juu sana. Another thing is to also identify the love language. You have read the 5 love languages. So if I know she loves gifts, even if I pluck a flower there and give her, at least she'd appreciate. If I buy a biscuit and give it to her, she'd be like, napendwa. But if you don't identify her love language, hawezi jua ni nini anapenda. Unaweza enda ukamwoshange tu vyombo hapo na kumbe hapendi kusaidiwa kuosha vyombo. Maybe being helped duties is not her love language. Also identifying love language.
Yeah, so guys, that has been our time. The book of Proverbs 27 verse 9 tells us that a sweet friendship refreshes the soul. So the kind of friend you have, the good friend you have, is supposed to be that kind of person who helps you feel like home. So guys, I would like to hear from you. How are your friendships like? How do you guys, have you guys rekindled your friendship? So you can go down there in the comments, and I would like to hear from you. You can also click the link and share, and you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you, and let us meet